This is an original story written by David Maggot McDonough.
How does it work? This human machine that lays before me. I must know. I'll not rest until I know. The flies are always buzzing around me, hungry for my flesh, but I am not dead, and they cannot have me.
A tall, elderly man dressed in a surgical gown stands at a table. A human head is sprawled out in pieces in front of him. He is covered in blood and stabbing at chunks of brain matter with a scalpel.
They cannot have my prizes, my collection, all these beautiful gifts. I have earned them.
He says to himself as he raises his arms and turns around. The floor of his basement dwelling is littered with severed human and animal body parts. He stands ankle deep in blood and gore. At the other side of the basement is a cage filled with moaning, living people. Some with missing arms and legs. Some clawing at the floor. Some barely cling to this mortal coil.
My glorious collection.
The man reaches down to the floor, cupping 2 handfuls of blood within each palm. He brushes his ivory white hair back with one hand, drenching it in crimson, slicking his hair into a gentleman style, staining the white with red. He raises his other hand to his lips and drinks longingly from it. Tears begin welling up in his eyes as he lowers his head. The man drops to his knees, splashing spatters of blood upon his gown, creating random patterns that would make an artist weep.
Will I ever understand? After all the toys I've broken, I just want to know how they work.
Tears wash over his pale, green, lifeless eyes as he clenches his fist.
I need to know.
The man screams to the ceiling.
These thoughts have tormented me for long enough. Today I shall no longer be lost in the mystery of the flesh.
He jumps to his feet with the energy of a much younger man, kicking the left arm of a female across the floor. It glides across the cesspool of human gore like a grotesque slip and slide, landing with a thud against the cage. Eager hands grab at the arm, pulling it into the bizarre prison. A fight erupts inside the cage like starving wild dogs battling over roadkill. One of the prisoners gouges out another's eyes with his thumbs. He pulls the appendage from out of her grasp, chews off all the fingers, and raises it in the air like a trophy. The man walks over to the other side of the basement. Hanging there like a side of beef is a 20-something male. His hair is long and his beard is grown out, long and black. 2 meat hooks are driven through the back of each shoulder, holding him above the floor. His hands and feet are chained together. He dangles silently, staring holes through the mad, self-proclaimed doctor.
You are my greatest riddle. I must understand why you did not scream like the others. Why you did not fight as I took away your freedom. Why you did not even as much as flinch as I drove the steel into your young, precious flesh.
The doctor raises his hand to his specimen's face, only to be met with an almost inviting stare.
Today, I will break you. Piece by piece, I will rip you apart. Slower than the others, I was too eager with the rest of them. Now look at them. Most will not speak to me. The others fight for food like animals.
He turns to the cage.
Like nasty little animals.
He yells to his prisoners as they jump back against the wall of their cell, the weaker ones rolling over, covering their ears with what's left of their arms. The doctor returns to his table. He pulls open a drawer and retrieves a pair of pliers. He walks back over to his specimen and places the cold steel of the pliers against his cheek. No reaction. Just the same calm stare. The stare of someone meditating, someone finding peace. Finally, the dangling man closes his eyes.
We're making progress already.
The doctor says to the man as he kneels at his feet.
Piece by piece, slowly, starting here.
The doctor takes the man's bare foot into his hand, raising the pliers to the nail of his big toe. He slowly opens the teeth of the instrument like a giddy child running to the living room on Christmas morning. He stabs one end of the pliers' teeth under the man's toenail and squeezes it shut.
We begin here. All 10 will be gone by morning, and then your fingernails in the afternoon. Quite frankly, I'm excited, are you?
He stares up at the man as he pulls the pliers towards him, separating nail from flesh. A tear seeps out from between the specimen's clenched eyelid, breaking his zen-like trance. The sun rises outside of the basement window. Neatly stacked piles of toenails drenched in blood and ragged skin lay under the hanging man, all 10. The mad doctor was not bluffing. The man's shirt is caked in vomit and tears.
I love you.
The doctor says to his specimen.
You are my everything.
The doctor begins to weep deeply.
I do this for both of us. You said I would never make it, but I proved you wrong. I proved you wrong.
The doctor begins dancing around his subject.
Now we can live happy, the way we've always dreamed.
Yes. Yes, we can, darling. The hanging man whispers to the doctor. Just loosen these chains, my love, and we will have the future we've always talked about. The doctor gleefully loosens the man's chains. In an instant, the man is upon him, wrapping his chains around the doctor's neck.
I've waited a fucking week for you to get all dreamy on me again. A full week. I've been planning how I'm gonna take you apart. Frankly, I'm excited. Are you?
The doctor loses consciousness and drops to the floor like a log. The man grabs the ends of the meat hooks and with all his strength pulls himself off of them.
Wake up, doctor. I've made you breakfast.
The doctor comes to. He's upstairs, chained at the arms to his kitchen table. He is attached to an IV, and 10 toes are staring back at him from the table. He tries to scream, but a ball gag inside of his mouth stifles his blood-curdling cries.
Aren't you hungry, doctor? I've prepared you a proper gentleman's breakfast. Refusing to eat will upset our guests.
The doctor looks around. His kitchen is littered with the occupants of his basement cage. They sneer at him through toothless mouths and sewn-up eyes. The rest are laughing at him like a circle of hyenas waiting to feed.
Okay then. You're the one who will have to go hungry. Not me.
Meat Hook Man picks up all 10 toes and chucks them at the prisoners. They pick them up and begin joyfully gnawing at them. The doctor squirms and presses his feet against the floor. They're covered in blood-red bandages. His movement leaves tiny, slimy trails on the hard wood under his feet. The doctor tries to look under the table, but he is not able to escape his tight restraints.
So you've noticed the bandages. The IV, huh?
Meat Hook Man flicks the doctor's drip bag.
I'm actually a real-life fucking doctor. Unlike you. You only pretend to be, because you're such a brainless, waste-of-life piece of shit.
Meat Hook Man leans into the doctor's face.
Now, I'm gonna show you how to tear someone apart, but actually keep them alive. That's what I do for a living. Every time you pass out, I'm gonna stop and start again when you wake up.
Meat Hook Man circles the kitchen table.
Now, students, I've brought you all here today to train you in the art of dissection. This is an important class. You should all feel honored to be attending it.
The prisoners begin to howl and cheer. The ones that can start to clap. The others just flop around on the floor. Meat Hook Man massages the doctor's shoulders.
Get limber, my man. This is gonna be a long class.
He reaches behind his back and pulls up a large kitchen knife.
An unorthodox tool, you say? Usually I have much more sterile implements, but hey, you work with what you have. Everyone, take notes.
Meat Hook Man reaches down to the table, puts his elbow on the doctor's right wrist. He wedges the kitchen knife under all 5 of his fingernails.
You've already got the petty. So how's about a quick mani to complete your day?
The doctor bites down hard on the ball gag and squeezes his eyes shut. Meat Hook Man pulls the blade towards the doctor, taking off all 5 fingernails in one swoop. The doctor's eyes fly open and go cross.
That's how you do it, you fucking hack.
The doctor loses consciousness once again, and his head lands on the table next to his bloody, separated nails.
Okay, snack break.
Meat Hook Man tosses the fingernails to the prisoners. They begin happily chomping on them, tearing and chewing at the remaining meat. By the time the doctor wakes up again, the kitchen knife is already under the next 5 nails. He stares up at Meat Hook Man with tears in his old pale green eyes. The knife rises, pulling off all his remaining nails. He kicks his legs to find stumps where his feet used to be, but surprisingly he feels no pain.
You shouldn't really keep morphine in the house of torture. Also, the natives were getting restless, so I gave them the Cliff Notes version of my seminar.
Meat Hook Man places a mirror under the doctor's face. A shell of his former self stares back from the glass. Blood oozes from holes where a nose, lips, and cheeks used to be. The doctor's eyes widen to the skeletal horror he has become. He stares at his right wrist, now a matching stump of gauze just like his feet. He looks over the prisoners as they are devouring pieces of him. Rage fills his eyes as he turns to Meat Hook Man. Meat Hook Man begins sawing off the doctor's remaining hand with a rusty wood saw. Slowly, and there we go. The hand separates from the arm and drops to the table with a splash. It's time to take out that gag, because I'm switching from doctoring to dentistry. Meat Hook Man removes the doctor's gag. A thick drool drips from his mouth. The doctor begins mumbling through the blood and saliva.
You son of a bitch.
Haggard words escape his lipless mouth. I don't have time to be precise with this, Doc, so bear with me. Meat Hook Man raises up a claw hammer. I'm not using the claw end. He begins violently bashing the teeth out of the doctor's face. Fragments of white drip slowly from his mouth until not one solid tooth remains. The doctor is engulfed in soothing dreamlike numbness. Meat Hook Man begins dousing the kitchen, the doctor, and all the prisoners in gasoline. He pours the remaining gas on himself. The doctor stares at him, barely clinging to life. Now, students, we've come to the end of class. I'm sad to see y'all leave, but I hope you've learned a lot. Have you learned a lot, Doc? Meat Hook Man takes a seat at the opposite end of the table. He pulls out a cigarette lighter. The doctor smiles at him. You saw the mystery of the flesh. Once you transcend beyond it, you finally find peace. Meat Hook Man closes his eyes, once again shifting into a zen-like trance. He rubs his finger against the lighter. Flames engulf him and the prisoners. As the table ignites, the doctor closes his eyes and then assumes the same zen-like trance. The flames reach him. The entire house burns into the night.